Have you ever thought about what if there was a Sweepstakes Hall of Fame? You know, there's Hall of Fames for all kinds of sports and all kinds of hobbies. So I started thinking about this the other day, and I thought it was an interesting topic. What would be the criteria that you would have to set that somebody makes the Hall of Fame? Is it just how much money in prizes they've won over a lifetime? I mean, does it need to be $100,000, $500,000, $1 million in prizes? Yes, there are plenty of people who have won over $1 million in prizes. Most of them have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years plus. So it is possible, and it does happen. Do you have to win a certain amount of trips? Some people don't enter for trips, so that would exclude them. So that's kind of not really fair. What about a car? A lot of people say that you have to win a car. If you do this for long enough and you're considered one of the best, at some point you have to win a car, right? We have one person who, you guys can watch the video, they've won over 300 trips, but they never won a car. They've tried over and over and over. They want to win one more than anything. Then we have 3 people who have won about 20 cars each, which blows my mind. So does that automatically put them into the Hall of Fame if we had one? What if you just had one large win? You know, is it like the quarterback that just wins one Super Bowl and that's all they've really done? So they probably don't make the Hall of Fame in the NFL. But what if you won the HD TV Dream House? Would that automatically catapult you into a Hall of Fame as being one of the best sweepers? Or did you get lucky and that's the only prize you ever won? Was the Dream House? Did you really get lucky, or was it effort? We'll cover that on a totally different blog. What about people who've won one single prize of $100,000 or more? We've had, I think it's 8 or 9 iWin members win a prize of $100,000 or more from an iWin sweep. We've had some other people win $100,000, but they've won it before iWin even existed. We actually have one member who's won $1 million in a single sweepstakes, $1 million prize, and it's a fantastic story that eventually I'd love to share with you. Some people know the story and know who I'm talking about, but it's a great and wonderful story that maybe one day we'll have an iWin Live about. So I try and do these interviews with people to bring them on to tell their stories, because yes, I win, but there's plenty of people who have amazing stories outside of me that win just as much, if not well more than I could even win. So back to the Sweepstakes Hall of Fame. The 4 C's used to be defining sweepstakes greatness years ago. What are the 4 C's? Computer, cars, cruise, cash. Cash was never defined though. Is cash $500, $1,000, $2,000? I mean, before last year, I had never won a single cash prize of more than like $2,000. It just was something that eluded me, was winning cash, where other people have won, major cash prizes all the time. In fact, we had a couple $40,000 winners or members that won $40,000 in a single prize just in the last month. Computers, that term's kind of almost obsolete now, because tablets. Now, those who have paid attention and watched my reels know that sometimes I don't really win computers, or that I haven't won a computer or a laptop. I've won plenty of tablets. So does that count as one of the 4 C's? I haven't won a car. I did win a truck. I've won about 10 cruises, and now I've won multiple $10,000 cash prizes. So I guess that counts in the 4 C's. What about someone who doesn't win a lot, but they've contributed a lot to the hobby? kind of like a broadcaster in sports. Maybe they've hosted conventions, and they've contributed in that way. So maybe they have an online presence and they educate people on sweepstakes and they bring people into the hobby that way. So maybe they haven't won $500,000 in prizes, but they've contributed to this wonderful hobby that so many of us share. So I know as some of you guys watch this, you're probably like, well, who are these people? And again, I try and get some on iWin Live. Most of them don't overly share and post publicly. Some do. We've had some great iWin interviews. We'll try and do some more. But truthfully, conventions. I've met these people at conventions or in local clubs. And before I owned iWin, and before I really took this hobby very, very serious, I went to my first convention. And that's when I saw the magnitude that people could win in this hobby. I saw people who had won multiple vehicles, that had won hundreds of trips. And it just blew my mind, because at that point, I don't think I had won maybe 10 trips. And, I had won a truck and I had won some little stuff when I first started, but nothing to the extreme that the last, 10 plus years of my life have brought, let alone it's part of iWin. So if you're looking to meet these potential Hall of Fame sweepers, think about going to a convention. There's one in Las Vegas. Every year is a big national convention. It's in Las Vegas this year. It's August 1st through 4th. And then next year in the summer, the dates haven't been announced yet, but it's going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. All the details are always on the iWin site. I don't host the conventions, but I do help promote them for the hosts. And obviously, I usually am in attendance, and I plan on being in Las Vegas, and I plan on being in Little Rock next year. There is a mini in North Carolina coming up that I'll see a bunch of you guys at, but unfortunately, that's on a waiting list right now. It's a much smaller venue where Vegas will be much larger. Little Rock has capacity for much larger, etc. So back to the Sweepstakes Hall of Fame. Let me know in the comments below what criteria you would set for Sweepstakes Hall of Fame. I guess mine would be a certain dollar amount in prizes, and you'd probably have to have a threshold of an average per year to be in the Hall of Fame. We're talking the Hall of Fame, the elite of the elite. So just something to think about. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.